there's a simple secret to making the best pumpkin bread of all time. Well, actually, there's two. But to get a pillow of joy like this, we start with the most important part, pumpkin. It's mega important that you use this type of pumpkin, called a Hokkaido pumpkin, otherwise known as red curry squash. We top it and tail it, then remove the guts. Don't throw away the trim and insides. It makes a fantastic pumpkin stock, which we use to make this delicious pumpkin soup. Video linked for your easy enjoyment. Cut up the pumpkin into wedges, skin and all. This is one of the reasons we use this type of pumpkin. The flesh is bright yellow, firm, and the flavor buttery and nutty. The skin adds even more flavor and color and goes completely soft during cooking. Once you have the wedges, you chop it up as thin as possible without losing your limbs, if you're lucky enough to still have them. The thinner we chop this, the quicker it cooks, meaning more pumpkin flavor stays in the puree and it keeps a vibrant color, giving us a bread that actually tastes like pumpkin down the line. If you really think Old Libby's pumpkin puree tastes better, then use hers, but I guarantee you fresh puree will win. Hands down every time. Now I'm making a large batch here, but you only need 600 grams or about 4 cups of pumpkin for this recipe. Into a large pan it goes, along with a touch of water. Cook it on high heat and cover it with a lid. Stir every now and then and check that there's a touch of water at all times. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes to cook soft. Test it by breaking a piece with a spoon and tasting it. It should be totally soft when pressed with no crunch left. Once cooked, get it into a blender and blend until smooth. A little pro tip is to add a tiny pinch of xanthan gum when blending it to avoid water leakage from the puree later. A natural thickener found in the health foods aisle, often, but not always, next to the chicken's milk. This is more for the pro chefs though, but extras are for you if you're using it at home. Once blended, you pass it through a fine meshed sieve to make sure the puree is completely smooth. If you have a fancy expensive blender, then you can skip the sieve. Also, little safety note, do not blend your puree in a NutriBullet for smoothies or a similar fully closed blender. Steam needs to escape, otherwise we'll have problems, and those are easier to avoid than dealing with them later on. Once the puree is done, you cover it with a little piece of parchment or greta wrap. Chill it down in the fridge or in the snow. While that's cooling off, we preheat the oven to 170 degrees Celsius or 338 degrees Fahrenheit and chat baking vessels. This is a standard 9x4 inch loaf pan, around 25 by 11 by 7 centimeters in height. Alternatively, you can use a muffin tin, or use both as we'll do today. Butter up the sides to make the parchment stick. Cut a large piece that covers all the sides with a bit of extra overhang. There's a few ways of doing this, but this is the way I do it. Cut the corners in on the angle to cover the bottom of the pan. Place the parchment into the pan and line it neatly, folding the edges and the corners around each other, until you have a perfectly neat fit. Snip off any side flaps, but make sure you have around a 3/4 inch or 2 centimeter overhang at the top. For the muffin tins, we slightly crunch up the paper, then cut squares and in from the corners again. Butter the tin and pop the paper inside. Line it up neatly and there you go. Pretty straightforward. You can also skip the paper and simply butter it, but I prefer the extra protection for this one. Now that we have that and the puree is chilled, let's make the batter. Into a bowl goes 400 grams or 1 2/3 cups of pumpkin puree. 125 grams or half a cup plus 2 tablespoons white or brown sugar, 2 grams or a 1/3 teaspoon of salt, 180 grams or 3/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon oil of your choice. Here I'm using extra virgin olive oil, but you can use regular canola oil, clarified butter, coconut oil. Diddy uses baby oil, basically whatever makes you happy. In goes 3 large eggs, then give it a little whisking, so the ingredients get to know each other a little bit better. Next, you sieve in 250 grams or 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 12 grams or 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 4 grams or 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Give that a gentle but thorough mix. Do not overmix it. As soon as it gets together, you stop. Overmixing will bring tears of sorrow instead of joy. Fill your baking vessel 3/4 ways to the top. Here I'm going a bit less because I want to make a few muffins for Libby. And the last one, always a little tester for yourself, because you deserve it. Into the oven it goes. For muffins it's 25 to 30 minutes, and for the loaf tin it's 45 to 50 minutes. While that bakes, we create the biggest secret of them all, pumpkin cream cheese spread, which no one, for some reason, thought about. Into a bowl goes 150 grams or 2/3 of a cup of cream cheese, aka Philadelphia, followed by 200 grams and 3/4 cups plus 1 tablespoon of pumpkin puree, and optionally but highly necessary 20 grams or 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar or maple syrup. To take to the next level, a good touch of fresh orange zest. Give it a mixing to combine and keep it in the fridge for now. To check the doneness, we stick a toothpick into the center. If it comes out clean, it's good to go. You did it well, and now you can breathe a sigh of relief. Just to make sure, I also like checking the internal temperature, which should be above 92 degrees Celsius or 197 degrees Fahrenheit. Place your muffins and loaf tin onto a wire rack to cool down completely. To check if you did it correctly, you can have your little tester, which should be a little mouthful of pure joy. Fluffy, warm, pumpkin-y, and dare I say, moist. Once the pumpkin bread has adequately cooled down, you can gently slice it and marvel at your little parcel of happiness, revealing itself as a soft, crumbed, light and airy, ultra-delicious, cuddly new best friend for the cold months to come. Spread it thick with our little secret. But don't tell anyone. Before you do all that, go live a happy life.